And finally, this is the GP01 from Gundam 0083, 0083, 0083, whatever your preference. I'm Canadian, so I usually say 0. This is the ground type configuration. I liked this thing a lot. This was a lot of fun to build. This was the first real grade kit I did when I moved out here, and I really like it a lot. This is making me really hope that they do a new version 2.0 of the Unit 1, because the original master grade of this mobile suit is, wow, it shows its age. It was released in about 1996 or 97. Not a great model. This, however, is a great model. I would actually rank this thing better than the perfect grade in a lot of ways. And we'll talk mostly in posability, and we'll talk about that. Pop the shield off just so we can take a look a little bit more at the body of it. There's a lot of detail in here. I really like the way they executed this. A lot of molded surface detail, like the Freedom. I didn't really talk about the different armor colors because it's white and very light gray are really only the different colors. This one is much the same. You know, you got the shock white on the front of the shoulder and slightly gray on the top of the shoulder. You got some similar gray elsewhere on parts of the legs, parts of the arms, etc. Just to kind of break up the pure white of the limbs. That's kind of something that they're moving into a lot with quite a lot of their kits, and some of the master grade kits as well. Your mileage may vary on how realistic it is, but I think it's an interesting touch, and gives it a little bit more, makes it a little more interesting color-wise when it works well. And on this one, it works really well. On Shaw's Zaku, it didn't work so great. Anyway, posability, we got the same universal hips. Not much to say. Good double jointed knees. You don't get quite as much of a deep knee bend as you did on the Freedom and even on the Zaku, but that's in part because it's got a really thick thigh, and this calf especially is quite chunky. So they just tend to collide with each other. It doesn't really give a lot of room for movement there. It'd be nice if they could bend a little bit deeper, but you know, what are you going to do? You got the same standard shifting knee and thigh armor part as on the Zaku and on the Freedom. For the ankle, same as with the Freedom, you got a lot of movement here. This armor panel really doesn't hinder anything like the way you would think it would, and really did on the master grade quite a lot. There's a lot of side to side, a lot of front to back, and there is some slight movement of this shin armor panel, but that unfortunately doesn't work so well. It has a tendency to pop out a little bit and bind up. It does move, but just not well, not that great. Feet, same like the Freedom. You got a lot of downward hinging here, and you got a bit of a toe to it as well. There's also a simulated hydraulic in the ankle that works actually quite well. You got your waist, and you got your ab crunch. Not as much of an ab crunch as on the Freedom or on the Zaku, but there's a really good reason for that. And the mere fact that it has an ab crunch at all, I think shows how far Bandai has come. You'll see why that ab crunch is so special. You got a lot of side to side tilting here, though. It is a bit loose. It wouldn't be hard to fix that up with a little bit of maybe apply a little bit of floor polish or some super glue to that hinge joint. Would tighten it up quite a bit. But as it is, if it's holding the shield in the left arm, it will sag quite heavily to the left side. Shoulder, you got a lot of movement in this shoulder. But because of one of the neat features of this thing, it's there's parts that tend to pop out really easily because there's not a lot of purchase. There's not a lot of real estate inside this torso armor to hold the pegs all in place. Like I said, we'll talk about that when we get to it, but you'll understand why this shoulder has a tendency to come loose a little bit. Other than that, you got the standard ball jointed shoulder outward and rotational movement here. Bicep swivel, standard double jointed elbows, and good hinged armor panel right here. Really, really deep movement on that. Gives very little breakup of armor coverage on this elbow. And like the other ones, it does include all fully articulated hands, but right now I've just got the fixed pose beam saber grasping hands on. Neck, you got some good, decent forward and back. It's not fantastic, but that's much in part due to the design of the collar. It's got a really high collar around the neck, so that hinders a lot of movement. You got a lot of side to side. You got some side to side tilt as well, but forward and back tilting, it's fairly limited. And now we're going to talk about why I'm so surprised this thing has any ab crunch at all and why this shoulder's a little bit loose. And that is, if you were not aware, this mobile suit has a core fighter. And they've rendered it fully. They did a better job on this than they did on the Master Grade kit 15 years ago. The only thing this thing is missing that kit had was a detailed cockpit. That is your core fighter. This is the atmospheric version, hence the wings. The space combat version has a different rear portion and these big boost pods for omnidirectional maneuvering in space. But this is the reason why there's not a lot of room under the torso. There's like very, very short pegs holding these arms in place. There's only a couple of millimeters of grab. So if you're twisting a little bit too vigorously on this shoulder, the armor panel can come a little bit loose, and the armature this thing is attached to can kind of slip off the peg just a little bit. So it's kind of hard to get some, real dynamic movement out of this shoulder without something coming loose. But the mere fact that it's there is really, really impressive at this size. I did neglect to mention, like the others, it has a standard opening cockpit. You got your standard up and down hatch, but there's also the whole chest plate can move up and out of the way. Weaponry. We've got the GP01 model shield, which is a folding shield in that it can slide and compress. It's got the same kind of latch as the Freedom has. It pegs into the back of the forearm, and there's a ball-jointed part there. There's also a grab handle that plugs in just below that for added stability. It's got twin beam sabers, which attach to the core fighter and act as laser cannons in this mode. And the beam rifle has a feature that I have always loved. That is this. This is called a beam jute. It's essentially a short beam saber that emits between two emitters within the rifle barrel and shoots off this little blade here. It can act as like I said, it's a short beam saber that you can use for emergency defense. If an enemy's coming towards you with a beam saber drawn and you don't have time to grab your own, you simply engage this and you can use it to block. And in fact, it was even, I think, used a couple of times within the show as an offensive weapon for cutting through enemy mobile suits. It has the standard forward aiming handle and adjustable sensor, and also has detachable energy caps. In the continuity of Gundam, I think it was the Unit 1 that was the first mobile suit to have these E-caps. There's two extra ones that can be stowed inside the shield. So this and the Fulvernian were the two of the most recent real grade kits that have come out so far. I'm working on the Fulvernian right now. That's the space combat version with the large booster pods and enhanced leg armor and lots more thrusters all over the place. You can tell very, very well that they were designed together to as upgrades of one another. And I haven't finished the Fulvernian yet, and so I can't speak for how I'm going to like it. But so far, this is my favorite of the real grade kits, and I was not expecting that because I'm not crazy about 0083. The series itself is basically Top Gun in space. Some of the mobile suit design, especially later in the series, just gets really stupid. But early on, the mobile suit design is really great. I think this is a really great stop, like a midpoint between the original series and Zeta Gundam. The evolution of Gundam it works really, really well with 0080 in the middle between First Gundam and Zeta Gundam. And this model really captures that a lot. My only complaints about this kit at all are the aforementioned loose shoulders. But if you're not going to be posing aggressively, it's really not a worry for you. You know, if you're just doing some light movement of the shoulder or of the arm at the shoulder for moving from one pose to another, you're not going to have to worry too much. And even if it does come loose, all you really have to do is just kind of pinch the torso back together, and it comes back together just fine. But the shifting armor panels, the high level of articulation on this thing, the really great weapons, the fact that it has a fully articulated, fully transformable core fighter is extraordinary. My only complaint, as I said, is the shoulder, but I really wish they'd included one extra thing, and that is the 90mm submachine gun, which the Unit 1 was seen carrying in quite a lot of early episodes of 0083. Until the show moved into space, I don't think it used the beam rifle a single time. It used the 90mm machine gun almost exclusively. And I really would have liked them to include that. And I'm probably going to try and get my hands on a kit that includes one in this scale, just so I can give it to this thing. Yeah, out of all the real grade kits I just showed off, this is my favorite. Though the Fulvernian might dethrone that when I finish it. We'll have to wait and see. So that's what I've been doing recently. As I said, I'm still working on the Fulvernian. Here you can see it's about halfway finished. Like the standard configuration, the ground configuration version, it has a core fighter, which can detach and transform. I've still got to do the upper torso and arms and the weapons. But I'm giving this one a little bit more attention than I did the ground configuration version. I'm taking a little more time to build it, and I'm painting more of it. The ground type, I used stickers for the eyes and other cameras and sensors. For this one, I'm painting everything. Not everything, obviously. I'm painting the eyes and the clear parts. Just because when I did the ground type, I didn't have a decent paintbrush, and now I do. So I can actually do that now. Because at this scale, those eyes are so freaking small. Oh God, I need like way better light than I have over in that part of my house to paint those eyes. I'm amazed that I was able to do as good a job as I did. So if I get some positive feedback toward the idea of doing a series about my gun collection, I'm probably going to start work on that this coming weekend. This weekend right now, this is I'm shooting on the Saturday. This is the day after Valentine's Day. So next weekend, if there's some interest, I'll probably get started on doing the gun review series this coming weekend. If I don't, I'll table that for now, and get to work on something I've been wanting to do again for a long time, and that is a Gundam model build-up, which is going to be of the RX-78 version 3.0 Master Grade. The last Gundam build-up review, like ground-up build review that I did, was the Gundam RX-78 version 2. So it's kind of appropriate that I would do a build-up of this one next. So both so you can see how the engineering of a Master Grade kit has changed in the last, 6 years, but also so you can see how my own ability to shoot a video has improved in the last several years. Since I did that video back in... I watched a piece of it the other day. I think it was back in 2008. And I think the kit was released in 2007. Or it might have been 2009 that I did it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I had said way back when that version of RX-78 was probably going to go down in history as the definitive version of RX-78. I may have to eat my words. It all depends on how this thing goes together, and I'm really looking forward to building it. So I may actually get started on that during the week and start posting videos on the weekend. But regardless, whatever. I've rambled on long enough. I always do this. I always go way over time, and cutting this together is probably going to take way longer than I'm going to have time for over the next several days. It is a long weekend, though, which is nice. But if you have any thoughts about doing some videos about my gun collection, don't hesitate to send me a message, either on Facebook or message me on Twitter. I'm actually thinking of starting up a Flickr account, because I've been taking a lot of pictures of my toy collection, my model collection, this and that. Whenever I get something new, I always try to take a few pictures of it. So I'm probably going to start a Flickr account and just start posting all the pictures I take just to that. So I will include a link to that down below if I do that before I post this. And that's really all there is left to say. So thanks everyone out there for watching, and happy modeling.